Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Narayanam Namaskrityam
Narayanam Namaskrityam
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Tado Jayamudhiraye
Tato Jayamudiraye
Nashtavrayeshu Abhadreshu
Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Bhagavati Uttama Sloke
Bhagavati Uttam Sloke
Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtigim.
Bhaktir Bhavati Daishtikim.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So we were going through these 5 main subject matter of Bhagavad Gita. Anybody remember what are those 5 main subject matter of Bhagavad Gita? Can anybody say?
Eeshwara, Jiva,
Ishvara, Jiva,
activities,
Karma,
time,
eternal time, yes. And then?
And
one
Kala.
more. Kala is already mentioned.
Material what? Material
nature.
Prakriti.
Yes.
Prakriti.
Yeah. So Bhagavad Gita reveals the main 5 subject matter. Very, very important. As a living entity, it's very important to understand who he is. So in the first section of this topic, we covered who is living entity, who is the Jiva. He is eternal spirit soul. And in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna reveals very in detail who the living entity is. The 15th chapter, 7th verse, Krishna is telling to Arjuna, "Oh Arjuna, all living entities are my eternal part and parcel." All living entities. So there is no doubt into that. So we are qualitatively same as that Supreme Lord Krishna, but quantitatively different. We are like a drop in an ocean, tiny part. We call it as Anu. Supreme Lord is Vibhu. So we are tiny little, but qualitatively we are same. It's like a drop of ocean water is same quality as the entire ocean water. Similarly, we are also part. So we are eternally related with the Supreme. Due to our forgetfulness, due to our conditional stage, due to our ignorance, that we are here in this material world separately enjoying from Krishna. But that is not our eternal nature. Our eternal nature is to be always with that Supreme nature. That is called spiritual nature. That spiritual nature is defined in our scripture, is known as Satchitanand. Eternal, full of knowledge and potency, and full of bliss. That's our eternal Swarup. And how that eternal Swarup manifests when we engage and realize and understand that Supreme. So today's topic is to, again, continuation of that from the Friday's class, to understand more, deeper, the Supreme Controller or the Supreme Lord, Sri Krishna. So let's get into the topic. How to understand Eeshwara. So this is the one of the main subject matter of Bhagavad Gita. Srila Prabhupada very detailed explains this into the introduction of Bhagavad Gita as well, the 5 main subject matter. Eeshwara literally means controller. So we know that there is a controller in this world. So if anybody thinks otherwise, if anybody thinks that there is no controller, everything is just accidentally take place, like scientist says or Darwin says, it just all happened, just accidentally happens like this, then Bhagavad Gita gives a very proper definite answer that there is a controller. So I'll just give one example. So one day, Isaac Newton was, completed a very wonderful structure of this universe. Very wonderful structure of this universe. And then he had a friend, and he was an atheist. Said, no, what are you talking about? This world is just manifested like that. There was a lot of everything was in one point. There was a big explosion, and because of that explosion of energy, then it all became particles, and then they came together in the form of the universe. And then again, there is a separation from that, each of those. And then again, it's created each, stars and the planets. Some started to emanate energy from it. Some is actually, relieves it, some absorbing it. There is, attraction, and there is repulsion, and so many things, arguments he was putting together. So this is the time Isaac Newton came. And one day he made a beautiful structure of this universe. And he made it in such a way that hanging on the ceiling and all these universes, all it's out there. And as somebody enters into the room, as he can see that this entire structure of the universe, like how this universe is, this planet is floating in the air. So this friend came and astonished to see this beautiful structure. And Isaac Newton said that, yeah, you created such a beautiful structure of this universe. It's very beautiful. So Isaac Newton said, no. I didn't do anything. It just came, it's all has accidentally happened. It came into the room. It's all accidentally happened like this. So this friend told, Isaac Newton that, what nonsense you're talking. How is it possible that this whole universe is like floating in this air like this? And so Isaac Newton said, this is exactly the same with the entire universe as is floating in this air. But there is a controller, there is a, connection. There is a relation, and everything is in the orbit in proper place because of there is an energy, there's a controlling, forces. It overrides it, controlling forces. So unless there is a controller, look at this beautiful nature. It's as if like Srila Prabhupada gives an example. A lot of dust is there. When we hold it in our hand, it properly situates there. But the moment we spread out in the air, all comes down. But look at this entire universe and their planets and their stars and their, cosmic, all these galaxies and clusters is there. In that, we can see that the same distance from the earth to the sun since time immemorial. It's not moving away from the sun. It's not moving away from the moon. It's not moving away from. Its entire structure is moving. Entire structure is, so anything that to be moved or anything that to be placed, the energy is needed. That is Newton's law of conservation of energy. So this is very important to understand. Similarly, there was a farmer. Farmer had a son. Farmer was a big atheist. He doesn't believe in the Supreme. But the son was opposite. Son completely believes in this universal order. This is a universal order. And this universal order is not just an accidentally happening, but because of there is a controller. There is a caretaker. There is a maintainer. There is a creator. There is an annihilator. This is all happening. It's not that just accidentally things happening. That's just because of foolishness and ignorance. So this son was very much God-fearing and is believing in the supreme controller. But the father was entirely opposite. Father says, I go and this is all happens accidentally, and he had this bad, illusion of, or, some kind of, ignorance that he had. So one day, the farmer went out to the field for his daily routine. The son was in the home. Son was a good painter. So he put a canvas in his room And then he took some paintbrush and the paint, and he started to draw a beautiful picture. And he put a beautiful nature, like the sun is there, the plants are there, the trees are there, and beautiful sceneries he drew in a canvas. The evening, father came, and father saw this beautiful painting. So father told to son, you did a great job, wonderful. This is, you draw a beautiful picture. It's very wonderful, very nice. It's real to the nature. So son said, oh, no, dad. I didn't do this. So the paint was in another room, the paintbrush was in another room, and the canvas was in the another room. I didn't do anything. There was a wind. It took everything, brought it together and brought out this beautiful painting of this nature. Father was, what nonsense you are talking? Is it that possible? So now son told to father, Father, I wanted to, remind you, look at this beautiful nature. This is the same nature I draw here, and that the replica of that, the same nature I draw in a canvas. That replica, that beautiful nature, that sun is there, moon is there, the plants, the sky is there, everything is there. Exactly like this. But you are saying that this is just accidentally happened? Then if that is accidentally happened, why can't this picture also come in this form accidentally? The father got to understand there is a controller in everything, every aspect of in this world. So our scriptures reveals that not even a blade of grass moves without the will of the Lord. So devotees, we need to understand this. So the Supreme Lord, who is the controller, that's why it's known as Eeshwara, means controller, that our scriptures, our acharyas, everybody upholds and glorify that Supreme Lord. And that Supreme Lord, Brahma, even the first creator. When we know that Brahma is manifested from the navel of the lotus navel of the Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. When this Pradhan, this Prakriti, we know that the understanding of how this all creation happening. So it's a great detail of study that how this nature is coming into existence. Before this manifestation of this Prakriti or nature, before that there is a stage of, that is called an unmanifested nature. It's also Prakriti, but it is unmanifested. That unmanifested nature is known as Pradhan, which is not manifested yet. But on that Pradhan, unmanifested nature, the Mahavishnu just had a glance, or the Supreme Lord had a glance. Then Krishna has a glance on it, then the Lord has a glance on it in the form of a Shambhu, then all this nature become manifest or become life. That is called Prakriti. And then that Prakriti then manifests again and again from the body of Mahavishnu. Then Mahavishnu enters into each universe, that each universe is coming out from that Supreme Lord, Mahavishnu. And the Lord enters into that each universe, then he becomes active or life. And then, living entities comes out from that. That's why the first living entity comes out from that universe. That's our current universe, is known as Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, and lotus navel Brahma comes out, manifests that first living entity. And then the Brahma initially came out, and then everywhere there is full of darkness. Nothing was there. So this is in the beginning of the Brahma, the first stage of Brahma. The Brahma then bewildered what to do. Then trying to find out where did I come from, and went down all the way but couldn't find out anything. Where did he come from? He couldn't understand. He went up and down. So because of this dilemma and fatigue of Brahma, seeing this, there was a sound, and which initially that's called originally the sound manifested. That sound was, Brahma understood that do the penance, the sound was tapa, do the penance. So Brahma started to do the tapas for 2 million celestial years. Then by pleasing that Brahma's penance and austerities for 2 million celestial years, the Supreme Lord himself manifested in front of Brahma. And seeing this, Krishna just came before Brahma and started to play the flute on his beautiful lotus hands. And then a consort manifested from that flute is known as Gayatri. That's why the Brahma's first consort is considered as Gayatri, because of Krishna now wanted to give a companionship for the Brahma. Then by the touch, Krishna shook hand with Brahma. Just by the touch, Brahma could understand everything. Brahma could even understand the spiritual abode, the Vaikuntha planet, the Golok Vrindavan, and every living entities over there. And Brahma started to glorify the Supreme Lord. That is known as Brahma Samhita. Brahma started to glorify. This is the first words of that first living entity, which originally came from the mouth of Brahma. Like how the Prahlad Stuti, when the touch of Narasimhadev, how the Dhruva, the praise of Dhruva Maharaj, just by the touch of Lord Vishnu, everything could see. Everything could see the Dhruva Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, like that. Brahma could see everything in truth, in reality. And that Brahma started to address the Lord. Oh Lord, you are the supreme controller. How Brahma addressed Krishna? Param Eeshwara. Eeshwara Paramam Krishna. This is the way that Brahma addressed to the Lord the first words of Brahma Samhita. Eeshwara Parama Krishna, you are the supreme controller. Satchidananda Vigraha, you are eternal, you are full of potency and full of bliss. Anadar Adar Govinda, Anadar, you are eternal, you are Anadar, there is no Adar. Anadar, that means there is no beginning for you. And there is no end for you. You are the original. Another Govinda. Govinda, you are the controller of the senses. You give the pleasure to the senses. You give the pleasure to the cows. That's the meaning of Govinda. And you are the cause of all the causes. Sarva Karana Karanam. You are the origin of all. The devotees, this is the first living entity that Brahma realized and understood and personally seen the Supreme Lord. And that Brahma is saying that you are the supreme controller, you are the cause of all the causes, Sarva Karana Karanam. We have to understand this fact, Karana and Karana. That means the cause and the effect. He is also the cause and he is also the effect, Karya and Karana, Sarva Karana Karanam. Karya, the cause, and Karana, the effect. And the cause is both interrelated. In this world, the devotees, anything has to happen, that this must be there. There should be a creator, and there is also a result for it. Let's say one of the poet, he was mentioned that, oh Lord, you are the creator, and you are the ingredient for that creation too. So there is no separation in one sense, but there is a separation because of when it is manifested, Karya and the Karana is all manifesting from that Supreme Personality of Godhead. So because he is the supreme cause of everything, he is the cause of all the causes. So this was the introduction of that understanding that the Eeshwara or the controller. Then we come to the understanding that, see the Brahma further very beautifully glorify the Supreme Lord. Advaita Vachyutam Anadim Ananda Rupam Adhyam Purana Purusham Navayauvanam Cha Vedesha Durlabham Adurlabham Atmat Bhakto Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. You are the Supreme, you are the original, you are the Adhyam, you are the Purana. You Purana means the oldest. Purusham, you are the person. See, that this is all that we have to understand. He's a person. Some people say he does not have personal form. He has Nirakar. He doesn't have a form. He is nirguna. He doesn't have any qualities. He is, what is called nirakara Brahma. He is, Brahman, all-pervading energy. But if there is an energy, there should be a source of energy, right? It's not that just scientist says that, okay, this is all part of energy. What is that energy? There should be a source of energy, right? That's why even you split an atom, there is a tremendous energy. So that energy, there is a source of energy. That's why in the Bhagavad Gita, in the Bhagavata explains that Parasya Shaktir Vivideva Sruyade. Parasya Shaktir, that supreme potency, Param means that supreme potency is manifested in various ways. That supreme potency is manifested in so many ways, and we call it as in so many, some are, in this material world, we say that is all part of this material energy. But the source is from Krishna. And but it is called that inferior energy, but there is a superior energy. That's what it is. We are all the living entity. They belongs to the superior nature of the Lord, or part of that superior energy. That's why in the Bhagavad Gita, 7th chapter, Krishna, saying to Arjuna that Abhareyam idastu manyam prakritim vidme param. Abhareyam. Beyond this material inferior energy, O Arjuna, there is a superior nature of mind. All living entities belongs to that superior nature. So, Brahma says in very clearly in many places that Ramadi Murti Shukala Yamena Tishtam Nanavadaram Bhuvaneshu Agarod Bhuvaneshu Kindu Krishna Swayam Sambhavat Paramapumanyo Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham. Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. So we have to understand this, that Supreme Lord Krishna means all attractive. Rama means the supreme enjoyer. He is everything. He is the supreme enjoyer. He is the supreme attractive. He attracts everybody because we are all part and parcel of him. So as we can see that in various ways that the Supreme Personality of Godhead reveals that in the Bhagavad Gita. See, we are actually seeing the view of Bhagavad Gita, or the words from Krishna himself. So one time, devotee Srila Prabhupada asked his disciples, what is the best way to understand, or best source that we can understand about the Supreme Lord? So Srila Prabhupada was asking this to the people. And then, the disciples were looking at each other. And Srila Prabhupada said, yes, the best way to understand the Supreme Lord is to hear from the Supreme Lord himself. There is no better source than, hearing from the Supreme Lord himself. That Supreme Lord, dear devotees, revealing that about him, about that the Supreme Controller, Eeshwara, in the Bhagavad Gita, in the 10.8, this is the Chaturshloki Bhagavatam. At the beginning of the Chaturshloki Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is revealing to Arjuna that, telling to Arjuna that, oh Arjuna, aham sarvasya prabhavo mataha sarvam pravartade. Idimatva bhajante mam bhuda bhava samannidaha. I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. The devotees, this is the deepest understanding we should have. If we don't have this deepest understanding, okay, somebody say Indra is the god, Chandra is the god, Agni is the god, Vayu is the god. So Krishna is revealing that in the 9th chapter is because of their intelligence is polluted. That's why they don't have this proper understanding. Krishna says in the 7th chapter, Naham prakasha sarvasya yogamaya samavrda mudobhina abhijanadi loko mam ajam avyayam. Krishna says that. What Krishna says that? I do not manifest to the unintelligent and foolish. I am covered by internal potency so that they do not know me, that I am the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the Lord of all that nature. Loko mam ajam avyayam. Inconceivable. They do not know why, because of I do not manifest to the unintelligent and foolish. Dear devotees, why we are hearing and understanding this from the Bhagavad Gita? Because of Krishna's mercy. By the mercy of the Lord only that we can come to the stage of that proper understanding Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There's so many wonderful examples out there, how by the devotion by the loving devotion to the Supreme Lord that Krishna is coming down to such devotees. This is the one of the benefit of the devotional service, which is called Sri Krishna Akarshani. One can attract Krishna. Krishna comes down and Krishna melts. That's the loving devotion of his devotee, and Krishna follows his devotee. Krishna says that, Narada Dev was saying this one. Naham dishtandi, I'm not seated in anywhere, in the different places, and it's mentioned that, but I'm seated in the devotee's heart. So I love to be seated in the devotee's heart. So that Krishna is revealing, that Supreme Personality of Godhead revealing that the super intelligent, the most intelligent aspects about the Krishna. That's why in the 9th chapter and the 10th chapter, which is considered as the confidential knowledge and the most confidential knowledge. The most confidential knowledge. Why? Because of this is the secret of all the secret. So Krishna revealing this beautiful understanding so that we also understand this. We also come to that stage of understanding the Supreme Lord. So here Krishna is saying, I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who know this perfectly engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. Dear devotees, this is all the business that we can do in this world. That's the only business that we have in this world. That's why we have this human form in order to engage, in order to put this only this business. What is that business? Engage in the loving devotional service to that supreme, understanding that he is the supreme controller. Everything comes from him. Dear devotees, we should be grateful. If we have something, or if we get something from somebody gives us something, or somebody helps us in very difficult situations, we are naturally very much obliged and grateful for such people. That's our nature, that's our tendency. But dear devotees, think about that even our breath, which is come from Krishna, that's Krishna's potency. That's why we are living in this world and enjoying this material world. But we are so ungrateful in such a way that we don't even remember and understand this. And we are asking, who is that Lord? Who is God? There is no God. There is no controller. This is all because of me that I am getting. Because of me, I work, I do this, I do this, I do this. That's why I am getting all this. There is no God. This is most, ungrateful. Our attitude of. So we should always have the gratefulness and understanding, and every moment we are passing in this world because of the mercy and because of the potency of that Supreme Lord. He is there in our heart, seeing our each and every moment of our activities, our mind, our intelligence. So as Krishna says in the 15th chapter, Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishto madhaka spurdur jnanam apohanam cha vedeshu sarvam aham eva vedyo vedandakrit vedakrit eva chaham. Krishna says to the Arjuna, oh Arjuna, I am seated in everyone's heart. Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishto, I am seated in everyone's heart. From me come Sarvasya chagam hrudisannivishto madhaka smrdur jnanam apohananja. From me come remembrance, from me come forgetfulness, and from me comes even ignorance. Madhaka smrdur jnanam, the knowledge comes from me. The remembrance comes from me, and even forgetfulness even comes from me. The devotees, there is a controller even for us. The controller for this entire nature, that's the next verse is saying that. Mayadhyakshena prakrite swiyade sacharachiram hetu nanena kaunteya jagat viparivartade. There is a controller for this entire material creation. This material nature, which is one of my energies, is working under my direction. O son of Kundi, producing all moving and non-moving beings, under its rule, this manifestation is created and annihilated again and again. Don't think that, dear devotees, that we'll be here for eternally. Everything is controlled. Even every minute is controlled. That's why Lord is also known as an eternal time. Even every moment, there are changes taking place every moment. Even in our body, each moment, each minute, each seconds, our cells are creating and the new cells are creating in our body and the old cells are dying. It's said that, the science even mentioned that even within 7 years, our entire body cells will be recreated, and after 7 years, our entire body is a new body. So this is the way things are happening. There is it is called Naimitika. There is, there is every time, momentarily, that there are annihilation, there are creation happens, there is at the same time annihilation also happens. Why? Because of there is a controller. It's not that, don't think that there is no controller in this world. Eeshwara, there is a controller, means that Lord is there, that Lord potency, it's everything is controlled by that supreme potency. So it's very important to understand this and not to just blindly go with that, but every moment we have to understand that every moment is passing in this world because of the, the potency of the Lord, the mercy of the Supreme Lord. But Krishna says that, as I mentioned, that everything comes from him. Remembrance comes from him, forgetfulness comes from him, even knowledge even comes from him. So that's why it is revealed that one who is devoted to the Krishna is the most knowledgeable person. One who devoted to the Supreme Lord, he is the most intelligent person. Buddha Bhava Samanitaha. Buddha. He is the most intelligent person. It's not that, this is just a sentimental somebody, worship the Supreme Lord. They are not, sentimental. It's most intelligent person. Srila Prabhupada, the most intelligent person, completely. How many volumes of books translated and revealed this transcendental science? Srila Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami, Jiva Goswami and Gopalapatta Goswami. Today, in fact, the Lokanath Goswami's disappearance day. Krishna manifested in front of him directly. Lokanath Goswami by the devotion of Lokanath Goswami. Lokanath Goswami was such a devotion for the Supreme, and the Supreme Lord directly manifested to the Lokanath Goswami. And that deity is known as Radha Vinod. Radha Vinod. And also, Lokanath Goswami also installed the Gokulananda, Radha Gokulananda. So, dear devotees, this is the perfect or the most intelligent, the most wise. Krishna manifests, Krishna gives that intelligence, Krishna gives that knowledge. And Krishna says that, Tesham Satada Yuktanam Bhajadam Priti Purvakam Dadami Buddhi Yokantam Yena Mam Upayantidi. I give them intelligence so that they come to me. So, dear devotees, that's why Krishna is known as full of knowledge. And one who comes to that spiritual understanding and realization, then he can come to that proper understanding. That's called the complete or the absolute knowledge. Krishna is also known as the absolute, or he is the source, so he is the absolute knowledge. There is no knowledge beyond that. In the 12th chapter, Krishna is also reveals that there is no knowledge beyond me. I'm the ultimate abode of everything. All the knowledge, all the potency, all the place, I'm the ultimate of abode of everything. So this is where the Bhagavad Gita reveals this very, very beautifully. But when there are fools, unintelligent, they do not know me that when I come in this human form of life, avajanadi mamudam manishim tanumasudam param bhavam ajanando mama bhuta maheshwaram. See, Krishna is revealing that Maheshwara. Maha means the Supreme Eeshwara, Parameshwar, Maheshwar. These are the different words which address that Supreme Lord, Supreme Controller. I'm the Supreme Lord. Maheshwara means the Supreme Lord of all that be. But foolish and unintelligent cannot, because of they are ignorant, because of they are covered by the internal yoga maya. They are covered by the internal potency of the Lord. So they do not know me. That internal potency is mentioned that in this material world is called Mahamaya. So let us continue here, right? Then we come to the stage. Krishna again further revealing that Aham Kratur Aham Yakya Sadham Aham Aushadam Mandro Aham Evyacham Aham Agnir Aham Futam. But it is who I am, the ritual. See that? He is the ingredient and he is the cause of that ingredient. He is the creator, he is the cause of that creation. He is the annihilator, and he is that annihilated. Everything once annihilated goes back to the body of Mahavishnu. And once the creation started, everything come out from the Mahavishnu. I am who the ritual, sacrifice, the offering to the ancestors, the healing herb, the transcendental chant, I'm the butter and the fire and the offering. The devotees, in one sense, everything is Krishna himself. Everything manifests from himself. This is Bhagavad Gita revealing, and this is the most confidential knowledge which reveals from the Bhagavad Gita chapter. I am the father of this universe. the mother, the support, and the grandsire. I am the object of knowledge. That's why Jnanam and the Jnayam. He is also the knowledge and he is the object of knowledge. Jnanam and the Jnayam. In the 13th chapter, which reveals that. Object of knowledge and the goal of the knowledge, and the knowledge itself is the Krishna. The purifier and the syllable Om. And that's the first sound which manifested, and this is also Krishna. I am also the Rig, the Sama, the other, and the Yajur Vedas. All the Vedas, that's why Krishna says that, Vedescha Sarvam Ahameva Vedyo. All the essence of all the understanding of the Vedas to be known, that Supreme Lord, Krishna. That's the essence. That's why Bhagavad Gita is known as Gita Upanishad, and which reveals that the complete confidential supreme absolute truth that Krishna is the supreme controller, Krishna is the Eeshwara, the Parama Eeshwara. Then further Krishna says that here, I am the goal, the sustainer, the master, the witness, the abode, the refuge, and the most dear friend. The devotees, this is the secret of all. This is the secret of all. That means Rupa Goswami mentioned that when we develop our devotions, we can establish a relationship with Krishna. That's called Sambandha Gyan. This reveals to us. Krishna reveals everything to us. Ada Sri Krishna Namadhi na bhaved na indriya sevan mukhohi jikhvadu swayam eva smaradiyada. Krishna says that by the loving devotional, Krishna reveals himself to that such devotee. There is no other way that we can understand. Krishna reveals himself to such devotees. Otherwise, it's very difficult to understand from the Vedas. Vedescha sarvam ahameva vedya. And that's the meaning of that understanding, that even every Veda, every scriptures is actually upholding the understanding of the Supreme Lord. And that's the essence of it. I am the goal, the sustainer, the master, the witness, and the abode, the refuge, and the most dear friend. So one can establish the relationship with Krishna when we develop that bhakti with Krishna. Then one can become a friend of Krishna. One can become the servant of Krishna. It's not that, we are kind of, in the material world, there is a master and servant relationship. Master take the advantage of it. But in the spiritual world, it's entirely opposite. When a devotee claims that he is the servant of Krishna, he is the most dear to that, devotee. Krishna doesn't consider us, he is a servant. Krishna considers he as a master. Krishna always ready to serve such devotee. There is a beautiful pastimes happened in Guruvayur temple. There was an old lady called Kuru Ramma. There is an illam, there is a kudumba. That's the name of that is called Kuru. And that illam, or that family house, is known as, that's called illam. And there was an old lady, she was alone. Husband is passed away, and she was an ardent devotee of Krishna. Every day she worshipped, and even though she is at the old age, she cannot even walk properly. She's, some scrolling like that. She's collecting flowers and the water and the fruits and the ingredients and cooking something for the Lord every day. But there was one servant. This old lady was telling to this servant that, okay, can you bring somebody that can help me in all this? Can you bring me somebody? Can you find somebody? And this was going on for quite some time, and he was not interested to bring somebody because of he was fully taking advantage of all the property and all the, whatever he gets from from the farm. So, but Krishna understood this. This Guru Rama was serving, worshipping the Supreme Lord in such a mood. One day, one boy appeared in this Guru Illam in front of Amma and said that your caretaker told me to come here, so I come here to help you. So this boy, this Guru Rama was very happy. Oh, some boy is there so that he can help me. So he was taking care of the cows, and he was taking care of bringing the water and the flowers and the fruits, and sometimes goes into the kitchen and helping every moment. Every moment, this little boy, 5, 6, 7-year-old boy, was helping. And Guru Rama liked him very much because he was a little naughty. And sometimes he does the mischievous things, and it's like a mother and the son relationship kind of. And sometimes this Guru Rama, because of his naughtiness, he just go and untie the cows, he break the pots, and sometimes it's uncontrollable. So this Amma, Kururama, put him in a jar like that, big jar, and then cover that. And this little boy had to sit there. Sometimes there may have the charcoals and this, carbon, all this there. When he come out, this whole body is completely covered with this all dust and, the carbon and the charcoal and all those. But this little boy was very happily, there and bringing every day. And then time passed, years passed. And the one day, this Guru Rama was, worshipping the Supreme Lord in such a way that, and he was offering the flowers, Guru Rama was offering the flowers and the bhoga which he was offering. And then whenever Guru Rama offered the flowers and offered the bhoga, this little boy come and eat. So Guru Rama got annoyed and told, what are you doing? And Guru Rama was calling this little boy was Karna. What are you doing, Karna? Go away, I'm worshipping the Lord. But this little boy was saying that you are calling me. Because of you are calling me, I'm coming here. Because of your, again and again, this was repeating. So then Krishna then finally revealed his original form to Guru Rama. This was Krishna. This was the Supreme Lord. Krishna was coming and helping that all these years, Krishna was personally serving his dear devotee and Guru Rama. And Guru Rama became stunned and astonished and embraced Krishna. That moment, Krishna took Guru Rama along with him to the Golok Vrindavan. And this was happened. This is 300 years ago. This was happened in the temple of Guruvayur. There are so many other wonderful examples like that, dear devotees. So, as it says that one can develop that relationship like friendship or dasya in the not like material world. Krishna is the master. The devotee is the master over there, like this in the case of Guru Rama in the Guruvayur temple. So, dear devotees, this is where we have to reach to understand, to serve completely and sincerely and with complete surrender and selflessly to that Krishna and understand that Krishna, because he is the cause of everything and he is the creator, he is the annihilator, he is the maintainer of each and every living entity. So then we come to this understanding, and then that's where Arjuna he started to pray to the Lord. Arjuna saw this, Arjuna understood this, and Arjuna was with the folded hands praying and offering prayers to Krishna and says that Param Brahm, Param Dham, Pavitram, Paramam Bhavan, Purusham, Shashwadam Divyam, Adi Devam Ajambibhum. Says that Ahustam Hridaya Sarva Devasho Naradastada Asido Devalo Vyasa Swayam Chaiva Brime Vime. Arjuna said, you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the ultimate abode and the purest and the absolute truth. You are the eternal, transcendental, original person, the unborn, the greatest. All the great sages such as Narada, Asida, Devala, Vyasa confirm this truth about you, and now you yourself are declaring to me. Dear devotees, as Srila Prabhupada said, that you have to hear from the Supreme Lord himself that there is nothing then more to know beyond that. So this what is exactly Arjuna came into this position. We know that after Arjuna heard all this, and then Krishna asked Arjuna, what do you think now? And what Arjuna was saying that, Nashta moha smritir labdha tat prasad maya chuda. My illusions have gone. Nashta moha, my illusions have gone. Nashta moha smritir labdha. I regained my original, remembrance. Smriti labdha. Smriti means the original consciousness. The devotees, this is what is we all have. We are completely swayed away into this material illusion that, this is good, this is good, this is good. Oh, this is for me, this is everything enjoyed for me, and this for me, this for me. And we just kept aside this Lord aside. And we bring ourselves in the center and try to say, I am the Lord, so I have to enjoy all this. I am doing this. I am saying whatever I am saying is right. I am doing whatever is right. I have the full rights. This is the me, the selfish mentality. That's where this is called our illusion. Because of this is all just temporary. As Krishna says that Mrityu Sarva Haraschaham. Everything one day that whatever we are, our proprietorship, whatever we are own, whatever we are say, this is my, me, myself, we cannot even take a small piece of cloth on our body. But every day we are so busy decorating this body and the cloth and this everything. But at the time of death, Nothing can take on. All it says that Mrityu sarva saraschaham. Mrityu comes and takes everything away. And then we will not even have any moment. And we cannot tell to the Yamadhudas, Yamadhaj, please wait for me for one more minute. I have so many things to take. What would Yamadhaj say? Yamadhudas says that your time is up. Your time is gone. All these years you have, but you forget everything. Now you don't have any more time. Your time is up. Come with me. We have to. Then what happened? Yamaraj comes and drags the soul from our body. And it is mentioned that in our scripture, which is so painful as thousands of scorpions biting at the same time. Pulls out from our body that soul and drag away. Done. Our opportunity as a human is gone, that in this lifetime to remember and understand and to realize that Supreme Lord and engage ourselves and surrender unto that Supreme Lord, understanding this, there is a Supreme Lord, there is a controller. So Arjuna understood this, and Arjuna was praying and offering prayers to that Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then again, we can see that, in this time, Krishna was revealing himself to Arjuna with that universal form. Everything comes from him, and Krishna was revealing to Arjuna that Arjuna says that, my dear Lord Krishna, I see assembled in your body all the demigods and all the other living entities. I see Brahma sitting on your lotus flower, as well as Lord Shiva and all the sages and divine serpents. O Lord of the universe, O universal form, I see in your body many, many arms, bellies, mouths, and eyes, expanded everywhere without limit. Dear devotees, this is the universal aspect of the universal form of the Lord. We all can see that where this all exists, as I actually in the beginning of the class mentioned, that all these are situated in the body of that universal form of the Supreme Lord. That's why this is considered as the body, the material nature of the Lord. And the sun and the moon considered as the eyes of the Supreme Lord. And the haze are considered as the trees of the Lord. And the various up and downs are considered as the hills of the Lord. And the water is all considered as the Lord's various, the water in the body of. Abdomen is considered as the ocean, the different ocean in this world, the abdomen of the Lord. So that is called the universal form of the Lord in the Bhagavatam. Lord Kapila Dev explains this very beautifully, that how one can see. That's why Sahasra Shirsha Purusha, even the demigods were offering the prayers. This is called Purusha Sukta. Considers this entire universe is a Purusha, and they are offering the Purusha Sukta. That's called Sahasra Shirsha Purusha, Sahasra Tahasra Pa. That means you have thousands of heads, you have thousands of eyes, you have thousands of legs, you have thousands of bodies. And exactly Arjuna is also, Krishna is revealing that to dear devotees. We have to have this, the form that we can see the Krishna in everything. And the basic understanding of universal form is, dear devotees, that Krishna is expanded in everything. Krishna is part of everything. And nothing that we can separate from him. That's what is exactly Krishna is saying. Arjuna is saying, you are the supreme primeval objective. You are the ultimate resting place of all this universe. You are inexhaustible. You are the oldest. You are the maintainer of the eternal religion. What is that? That's called dear devotees, Sanatana Dharma, eternal religion. What is that Sanatana Dharma? As always says, that Dharma means that which is inseparable from the Lord, which one we cannot separate from the Lord. Because of, as we say, that the liquidity of the water is inseparable. The heat of the fire inseparable, right? Likes that. So anything that which is inseparable from the Lord, that's our eternal nature, dear devotees. That, whatever the quality, that's also we have the quality, that eternal nature, that the Supreme Lord is so powerful, and the living entity is the subordinate to that Supreme. One should be always understand and should situate in his original eternal form. That is called Jivera Swarupa Hoi Krishnera Nityadas. Jivera Swarupa Hoi Krishnera Nityadas. That eternal nature of the living entity is that always in the service of the Supreme Lord, in relationship with the Supreme Lord. That's eternal nature of our. This is what is Arjuna is also understanding and revealing. You are the resting place of everything, and that is eternal religion. You are the maintainer of that eternal religion. Unless and until, dear devotees, we have the mercy of the Supreme Lord that we cannot move an inch into this Sanatana Dharma, eternal religion. That's it is also the moment we surrender, the moment we come closer to Krishna, Krishna takes 100 steps towards us. Krishna revealed this to Arjuna. Arjuna, if one takes 1 steps, it takes 100 steps towards that devotee, towards that devotee. So this is, we have to understand this way, that there is a Supreme Lord. Although you are one, you spread throughout the sky and the planets and the spaces between, O Great One, seeing this wondrous and terrible form, all the planetary systems are perturbed. All the host of demigods are surrendering before you and entering into you. Some of them are very much afraid and offering prayers with the folded hands. Host of great sages and perfected being crying out peace. All the various manifestations of Lord Shiva, Adityas, Vasus and Satyas, Vishwadevadas and 2 Ashvis and Maruts, the forefathers, Gandharvas, Yakshas and the Asuras, and the perfected demigods are beholding you in wonder. The devotees, this is a perfect vision of it, perfect understanding of it. All this entire creation and the creation, and all the created living beings, and especially the higher intelligence and demigods, they are offering the praise to the Supreme Lord. Because of He is the Supreme Controller, He is the Supreme Father, He is the Supreme Mother. As it's, Arjuna is all pervading Vishnu, seeing you with your many radiant colors touching the sky. You are gaping the mouths and your great glowing eyes. My mind is perturbed by fear. I can no longer maintain my steadiness, delivering the minds. So this is another way of seeing it. That's why, dear devotees, when we see Krishna in this universal form, we also perturb. That's why many people cannot understand. So then what Arjuna did? Arjuna was with folded hands praying to Krishna, "Oh Krishna, please come down. Please, show your original form to me." That's why, dear devotees, Krishna was revealing his original form, two-handed Supreme Lord's form to Arjuna. And Krishna said to Arjuna, "This is my eternal permanent form." Dear devotees, sometimes people ask, okay, there is Supreme Lord, what is his form? He has a personal form. He has an identity. That's why he is known as Purusha. He has a personal, beautiful form that we can see here. And we can see that in the beautiful picture here. See, he has the beautiful picture, the Krishna, that from Krishna, everything. He's the Sarva Karana Karana. Even Mahavishnu manifests from the Krishna. It's a different form of Krishna, is Mahavishnu. It's a beautiful form of that Krishna. He's a Shyama Sundar form. He's the cause of all the causes. He's a beautiful form. He has beautiful eyes. He has beautiful anga. Angani yasya sagalendriya pridimandi pashyandi pandigalayandi chiram jaganti ananda chidmaya sadujjvala vigrahasya govinda madi purusham tamaham bhajami. Alola chandragalasadu vanamalya vamshi raknangadam pranaya kali kalavilasam shyamam drubhangalalidam niyada prakasham Govinda Madi Purusham Tapaham Bhajami. See that the beautiful form of Krishna? The devotees, this is the most confidential and the most revered form of Krishna, that beautiful Shyama Sundara form. One has to have that form always in his heart. Then such a devotee, Shyam, that's a Premanjana Chudida Bhakti Vilochanena. By the loving devotion, Shamda Hridayeshu Vilokayandi. And what that form? Yam Shyama Sundaram Ajindya Guna Swarupam. That Shyama Sundara form, always he, keep it in his heart and always worship in his heart. Yam Shyama Sundaram Ajindya Guna Swarupam. He has inconceivable potency, that we can see that here as Krishna. Inconceivable potency. Ajindya Guna Swarupam. We cannot even perceive, dear devotees, the qualities. Even thousands of mouths of Ananda Shesha glorifying the qualities of the Supreme Lord, if since time immemorial, cannot complete and finish the quality and the glories of the Supreme Lord is revealed in the scripture. So it's very important that, but by the mercy of Krishna, the Shanda, the devotees, the Sandas, the devotees are always have this beautiful form of Krishna in their heart. Shanda Sadaiva Hridayeshu Vilokayandi. And what is say? Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami, to that supreme personality of Godhead. So, dear devotees, this is what we need to understand, the ultimate of everything, that Krishna is the cause of all, he is the supreme controller. And as Krishna reveals in Bhagavad Gita, that's the essence of all, that's the conclusion and the complete of that, what we need to understand. Just fix your mind upon me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and engage all your intelligence in me, thus you will live in me always without a doubt. The devotees, that is called perfection of our life. Why Krishna is revealing this to Arjuna? Basically, Krishna is revealing to all his dear devotees, all the people in general, so that one can understand what is this material world, what is this jiva, what is the relationship with the jiva to this material world and our activity and the karma, and ultimately what is our relationship, absolute relationship with that Supreme Lord, Sri Krishna. And that's what is Krishna is revealing here, that I am the controller, I am the Supreme Lord of all that to be. So our duty, our eternal dharma, that's another dharma. Our eternal dharma is to understand and realize that there is Supreme Lord, he is the controller of everything, and everything manifests from him. And our duty is to surrender unto him, that Krishna reveals in the 18th chapter. Finally, Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamegam Sharanam Vraja. This is the most secret of all the secret, and the most confidential knowledge of all. Saranagadi, that's called, Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamegam Sharanam Vraja. Aham tam sarva pabebhyo mokshayishyami ma suchaha. Do not fear, I will relieve you from all these sinful reactions. Just surrender unto me. The devotees, this is the proper understanding of this, the way that we perfect our understanding that Krishna is the supreme controller. He is the Eeshwara. So Bhagavad Gita reveals this and reveals this ultimate absolute knowledge to us. And all we need to do is actually take this in our heart, and whatever the capacity we can understand this and surrender unto that personality of Godhead and develop a relationship. And how do we develop that relationship? By the mercy of Guru and by the mercy of devotee, that we can develop that relationship unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then Krishna will Krishna will take care of everything. That's a proper understanding. And this Bhagavad Gita reveals this, that the Supreme Eeshwara is the Supreme Personality of God. This is the most confidential knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, and Krishna reveals himself this to the devotees. So with this note, I would end here. Thank you so much for being there and patiently waiting and being part of this beautiful Sangha. It's nice, quite nice, that seeing that all the dear devotees coming together, and it's the mercy of the Lord. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Thank you so much. Okay. So are there any questions? Any comments? Any concerns, reflections? Can have some discussions. If anybody likes. Please go ahead. No reflections. Hare Krishna. What is that? There is a message. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Rudy Sharan. Okay. Please, yeah. Hare Krishna. Please go ahead.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for this. It has been really nice listening to you, especially the Guruvayur story is very, very touching. So I didn't know this, though I've been to Guruvayur many times. And,
Oh, wow.
yeah, so it's indeed a very good reminder. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes, there are so many wonderful pastimes in the Guruvayur. So many wonderful pastimes. Krishna personally coming to many, many devotees. Krishna is taking different forms. One time what happened in Guruvayur, so there were children were playing in the front of the Guruvayur temple, and the temple management then prohibited them, don't come here and don't play. But Krishna didn't like that. So Krishna was waiting for these all children to come, and Krishna also joined with them to see, to play with the children. There was Villamangalam Swamiya. He was a great devotee of the Lord, and he could see when he comes to the temple, he could see Krishna is there inside the altar. Krishna is what Krishna is doing. Sometimes Krishna goes into there is a beautiful, art center, and Krishna goes there and watch this beautiful form of Kathakali, different other, folks, different kinds of art, and likes that. Sometimes Krishna is not there. So one day likes that here when Krishna, the time of lunchtime, so children were playing outside, and then, they saw that there is an extra child is also playing with them. And this is the time, the lunchtime for Bhoga offering for the Krishna. But then Villamangala Samyar was there and he couldn't see Krishna is there. And he said, Krishna is not there. This is the time outside of the temple, and the children were kind of playing. And all the time there is one child, he is running faster. Nobody can catch him like that. And he's really playing with him. So it is happening. It is there, dear devotees, when there is a devotion for the Supreme, this whole Krishna personally comes, and Krishna personally. So in the case of today is a disappearance day of Loknath Goswami. So when Loknath Goswami had a desire to serve Krishna like that, then Krishna manifested. And Krishna came personally in front of Loknath Goswami, and he transformed in the form of a deity. And Loknath Goswami was just astonished and stunned, and seeing that what is happening. And all of a sudden, there is a deity in front of him. And then deity started to speak. I'm so hungry. Can you give me something? I'm so hungry. So the devotees here, Krishna is the Lord of the entire universe. Come here and down and asking Loknath Goswami, can he give some food? Can you imagine? So this is Krishna. So when there is that devotion, Krishna comes down to that such devotee and then take that personal service from that such devotee. So this happens everywhere. So many wonderful, that in the case of Madhavendra Puri, there are 200 years, the Gopal deity was under the bush because of the Mughals, and they hid the deity under a bush. 200 years, this deity was there. So when the proper time Madhavendra Puri was there, the pure devotee and Madhavendra Puri, Krishna gave a darshan in the night time to Krishna, to Madhavendra Puri, that I'm lying down here for so many years because of the severe, heat and scorching and the cold, and I'm so tired out here. Can you take me up and give me proper, place? So then Madhavendra Puri then got everybody together and had this drink. There is something behind this. So went to that place where that darshan and the Lord told where I am lying down there. They all went there and they saw this deity under the bush for so many, hundreds of years. They took out the deity, and that is in the Gopalji deity in the Govardhan. And they had a 1 week of wonderful, wonderful Abhishek because of Krishna revealed. I've been here for so many years with so much of heat. And then they did worship, they did the Abhishek for almost a week. And then again, didn't reduce that. Krishna again told to Madhavendra Puri, I'm so hot. Can you go and bring chandan, sandalwood paste from Malaya Hills? And then Madhavendra Puri goes there and then came to the temple called Ramuna. There, Madhavendra Puri saw that the Brahmanas are offering the wonderful kheer. Madhavendra Puri just saw it but didn't have, then just heard this one. If I have ingredients, I could also make such kinds of kheer for Krishna. You know what Krishna did? Krishna just told when it's offered, before then, curtain closes, and then I once offered, then Pujari takes the kheer and everything in his form. But Krishna stole one of the big pot of this kheer and keep it inside behind the curtain. And then, this revealed to Pujari that there is a devotee called Madhavendra Puri. I stole this pot of kheer, go and give it to him. And this Pujari came out and started to call, Lord is revealing, mentioned that there is a name called Madhavendra. That time, somewhere in village, marketplace, Madhavendra Puri was lying somewhere on the, some plain, field, under the tree or something. And it's revealed to the other. In the night time, somebody was calling this name, Madhavendra Puri, Madhavendra. So Madhavendra Puri got up and this Pujari came and told all this what happened. And then Madhavendra Puri was so, astonished. And ecstasy, and Lord was personally remembered Madhuri. So dear devotees, this is there. This is all the time, every time the Lord, the Krishna, he is there in the form of, and to receive the service. And he became, sometimes become, like a servant to that, his devotees. It all happened. This is the devotion, and by the pure and proper devotion, Krishna is being attracted to that devotion. But that doesn't mean that, oh, Krishna comes out as a boy, like, we know that Villamangalam Thakur, Krishna personally coming and handing over the milk and the prasadam every day to Villamangalam Thakur in Vrindavan. That Supreme Lord also controlling the entire universal affairs. That's why he is in the form of Mahavishnu. Entire universal affairs, that's in the form of Mahavishnu. But what Krishna does, same time, Krishna always with his devotees in Vrindavan. So it's so beautiful, so nice to understand all this. And then we should always have this, the form of Krishna in our heart. So Krishna is being attracted to such devotees. So nice. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Anybody else like to add anything, any reflections? Okay, so let's conclude. Thank you so much, dear devotees. And so we were actually going through the 5 main subject matter of Bhagavad Gita. So we went through the entire summary study of each chapters of Bhagavad Gita. Then we came to the entire subject matter of Bhagavad Gita, which is, the Eeshwara, then Jiva, the Kala, the Karma, and the material nature. So this is the subject matter of Bhagavad Gita. So we hope that you could understand some extent of these all relationships and how it is all, related to each other, the importance of each aspects of Karma, Kala, Prakriti, nature, and the Supreme Lord. And what we're supposed to do and what we should do. This is the essence of Bhagavad Gita, right? The essence of Bhagavad Gita is to always understand and surrender unto that Supreme Personality of Godhead, and always, observe, Krishna says and meditate upon me. Manmanamo bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vaishyanti satyam te pradijane priyosime. Always offer your homage unto me, worship me, and I would, as Krishna says that Manmanamo bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru, meditate upon me, offer your homage unto me, thus you will come to me. That's Krishna is revealing, thus you will come to me. So Krishna is revealing that Krishna is so merciful. He is the Supreme Father. He is giving this supreme secret to us, that how we can get out of this material entanglement, material sufferings and miseries of this material world, and then how we can completely become eternal and completely part of that eternal and nature, and how we can enter into that supreme abode of Krishna. So Krishna is revealing this. So that's most important lessons from the Gita. That one should. That's the essence. The complete essence of the Bhagavad Gita is nothing but the Bhakti Yoga. So the next 4 days, this will be again a summary study. So the tomorrow will be the class. That's the essence of Bhagavad Gita. Then the Wednesday will be the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. Then Thursday will be the instructions of Bhagavad Gita, that what instruction Krishna is revealing to Arjuna, that means instruction to us. Then on the Friday, there will be a conclusion of Bhagavad Gita. Then this will conclude our Bhagavad Gita, entire Bhagavad Gita study. And then we will be starting on Monday, next Monday onwards, we'll be starting the Shishashtakam. And Monday is basically the beginning of Purushottam month. So Purushottam month is a very auspicious month. Generally, it is considered as inauspicious. So this is a great story is there. So everybody was rejecting this Adhika Mas, or is called, generally people call it as Malamas. Malamas means impurities, an impure month. So we know that there is, every month has a name, every month has a deity, a Lord for each month. It's a Keshava, the first month, Narayana, then Madhava, then Vishnu, then Rishikesh, right? Then Vamana, Sridhara. like that. Then Damodara. We know that when it comes to Damodara, that means that October, November is the Damodara. Then again, the Keshava starts, or that's a month of, Krishna reveals that in the Bhagavad Gita, out of all the months, in the Margashirsha month is actually the month of Lord Keshava. But when it comes to this Malamas, and Krishna himself took that month, which is known as Purushottama. That's why Krishna Purushottama. It means Krishna. This is the month of Krishna. All the other month is actually for Keshava, Damodara, like that. But this is Purushottama, that means Krishna. This is the month of Krishna. So one day, this Malamasa is a personified month. Is actually approached Krishna, Supreme Lord, and said that, everybody is rejecting me. Nobody is doing anything for me on this month of it. I'm so painful now with this attitude of the people. Zadhiyamas is considered as Malamas. Krishna said, do not worry that I am the Lord of this month. I am taking this month and I am the Lord of this month. So dear devotees, since then, this month is considered as the most auspicious month. That means anything that we do in this month of Purushottam, in this month, it will be millions of billions. Lord is so pleased in this month. And the Lord personally reveals that if anybody is actually understand this, engage in the loving devotion, they'll be very dear to the Supreme Lord. Like how Krishna is dear to the Malamas, like that, Krishna will be very dear to such a devotee. So with that note, we'll be taking up this Shishashtagam on this starting on next Monday. And we will go through that entire 8 verses of Shishashtagam. And each day we will be covering each verse and go in detail of this is the entire everything, that everything, the essence of entire Gaudiya Vaishnava is comprised in all these 8 verses. Then Sri Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami and Jiva Goswami and Gopala Bhatta Goswami all were actually elaborating these 8 verses. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu revealed that the theme of everything in these 8 verses. So it's very important to understand this and by heart this 8 verses of Shishashtagam. We'll be going through that next 2 weeks, and then we'll summarize that, the entire study of, and then it's pretty much, partially when we'll go through also Chaitanya Charitamrita and the Goswamis and so many wonderful personalities. And then we'll go through that. Then we come to the Ishopanishad after that. After 2 weeks, we'll be beginning the Ishopanishad, and that will also go with each verses of the Ishopanishad. And this also, again, now we understood the Supreme Lord, Eeshwara. Now we are going deep understanding of that, how that Eeshwara is manifesting in various ways in this world. That is the Ishopanishad. Start with the words called Isha Vasyamidam Sarvam. Yat kinja jagatyam jagatena tektena bhunjitva magrita satsitaram. Isha Vasyamidam Sarvam. So we are going to understand more deeper about that Supreme Lord, right, through the Ishopanishad. So dear devotees, please pay attention and also reveal and share this to others so that everybody can. This is absolutely free of cost. This is completely, and this is only the mercy of the Lord. All we are asking for your attention and your dedication for this class, and then, and then apply that in your life. So this is the way that we can perfect our life in this. So thank you so much. And so we'll conclude if there is nothing else. Anything else? Amarthananda Prabhu would like to add anything? Yeah, Prash Prabhu.
No problem. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hari Bol. Very good.
Hari Bol. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Jai, Jai.
Let's conclude that today's session. Vancha kalpatarubhashya kripa sindhubhyevacha padidana pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Vaishnavrunda ki jai. Nagaraj Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai.
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Ananta Gauri Vaishnavrunda ki jai.
Jai.
Gaura Premanandi. Hari Hari.
Hari Bol. Thank you, everybody. Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.